This show is a fucking joke, man. I literally had to fight myself to come on here and even try to do a review. I just got done watching, and the show was so boring and just makes me so ill that I just don't even know what to say anymore. I don't know what to tell you people, man. It literally gets harder and harder every week to come on here and want to talk about the show. I don't even want to watch this fucking show. But then I try to enjoy coming on here and speaking to you guys in hopes that you don't have to watch the show. You can just come on here and get a real fucking quick rundown of what happened, what you missed. It's usually nothing. Just like tonight. If you didn't watch tonight, what the fuck did you miss? You missed nothing. This show is fucking boring, dude. So fucking boring. I don't know how anybody writes the script for this show, runs it all down, goes over it, and then says, yeah, this will definitely entertain people for 3 fucking hours. Let's have Seth Rollins come out fucking 2-3 times again in one night, like he does every fucking week. Guys out there 2-3 segments every goddamn week. To the point I don't even want to see Seth Rollins anymore. This is the type of shit that fucking pisses me off, man. Seeing the same guys over and over again, multiple times a night. Meanwhile, other people still are nowhere to be fucking found. I don't know, man. Let's just get into this fucking god-awful show and what happened tonight. Fucking show starts with Seth Rollins as usual. It's always the same shit every fucking week, man. Guy comes out, talks, gets interrupted, talking some more. Go fuck yourself. Music plays, fucking segment over, man. It's the same shit every fucking... Can we just start off the show with a wrestling match, maybe? Or something? Or like a fucking crazy brawl, or just anything other than... Somebody comes out, he gets interrupted, they talk shit, somebody else comes out, he talks shit, comes out, talks shit, comes out, talks shit, and then the fucking segment ends with somebody just saying something that's just not clever or cool or funny or anything, and then the fucking segment ends, and then we finally, maybe, hopefully, get into our first match of the night. Every single week, this show starts off exactly, and the same goes for SmackDown, man. The same goes for SmackDown. Every single week, it's the same fucking shit, just different characters in that spot. Jesus Christ. Anyway, so the show starts off with Rollins coming out. You know, we get some highlights of the super lame down show of his match with Baron Corbin. He says that Lesnar, he's talking about the whole Brock Lesnar cashing thing. He says Brock Lesnar's been here since 2002, and nobody has ever done to Lesnar what he did on Friday. So I guess I'm supposed to just fucking forget what The Undertaker did to Brock Lesnar in their Hell in a Cell match back in October of 2002. I'm supposed to forget that. So Seth Rollins hitting Brock Lesnar about 7 or 8 times with a fucking chair in the back is supposed to be just the most brutal thing that anybody's ever done to Brock Lesnar, right? We're supposed to just forget all the matches he had with fucking Kurt Angle back in the day, the matches he had with The Undertaker. I don't fucking understand this shit. I really don't. It's fucking lame. Whoever scripts Seth Rollins to say this shit is just fucking nauseating. This is why I can't get behind these guys, because they're scripted to say this dumb shit. And I'm supposed to just eat it up. The casuals will eat it up, because they don't know any fucking better. They don't even know what they did yesterday. Never mind what happened back in 2002. Anyway. This leads to Baron Corbin coming out. Of course, somebody has to come out and interrupt. It's the same shit. He comes out. Because we just can't get enough of this feud, man. People are just eating this fucking Rollins and Corbin feud up. Anyway, Corbin says Rollins needs to, again, worry about him still instead of worrying about Brock Lesnar. You know, same shit, different week. Nothing changes here. He says the referee is why he lost his match against Rollins in fucking Jeddah. Then he says... what the fuck did he say next? Says he talked to WWE officials, and he's getting a rematch at Stomping Grounds. One of the corniest pay-per-views I've heard since Great Balls of Fire. So I guess, I don't know, I guess rematches are a thing again, even though didn't Shane McMahon say that they were antiquated or whatever the fuck word he used? You know, when they first did the whole fucking thing back in December about the fans are in control and yeah, the fucking fans are in control, they make all the decisions. Yeah, fucking right, dude. Suck my fucking asshole. Anyway, Rollins retaliates with some extremely lame scripted jokes that I'm not even going to go over because I just didn't even want to think about them. Of course, then here comes another person interrupting. Here comes Sami Zayn. He comes out. He says how Rollins and Lesnar keep going back and forth through this repetitive cycle of them going, you know, tit for tat and just fucking beating each other up in some form of toxic masculinity. Again, some more of this SJW fucking garbage that Sami Zayn continues to fucking spew week after week. I went from liking Sami, I just can't even stand his character anymore. Just everything about him, just the shit that he's either, whether he's scripted to say it or not, between that, the fact that he fucking loses every week, the fact that his matches have been fucking boring, the fact that he's boring, the fact that this show sucks. I just don't give a fuck about Sami Zayn anymore. I honestly don't. I don't give a fuck about anybody on this show. Tell you the guy's honest truth, but Sami Zayn is just on another level right now. It's just fucking annoying, and not in a good way. Just fucking lame. Anyway, Rollins says that Corbin actually has someone who has his back, but then he asks who is going to have Zayn's back when he slaps the taste out of his mouth, and of course it's predictable as fucking ever. Here comes Kevin Owens. Pretty much comes out, repeats exactly what Sami Zayn just says, minus the toxic masculinity bullshit. And you can just smell a six-man tag match coming, but Rollins says he just wants to go one-on-one with Owens, and that pretty much ends our weekly boring opening segment. You know, I don't know why, again, Raw has to start this show the same way every single fucking week. I don't understand it. And while we didn't get a six-man tag match with these three and Rollins and two other guys this week, doesn't mean we're not going to get it next week, because I guarantee you it's fucking coming, people. It's fucking coming. We then get a graphic of a triple threat tag team match later tonight for the tag titles between the Usos, the Revival, and yes, if you forgot who the champs were, Ryder and Hawkins, because I sure as hell forgot. I had to look it up, what was it, last week or 2 weeks ago? I actually had to look up who the tag champions were because they haven't been on the show in like fucking a month and a half. So fuck me for forgetting. Anyway, up next is another rinse and repeat handicap match between Lucha House Party and Lars Sullivan, only this time they added the ever so exciting stipulation of it being an elimination match. Kalisto was eliminated in about 16 seconds after getting hit with the freak accident. Lince Dorado is eliminated about 15 seconds after that with a running sit-out powerbomb. And believe me, what the fuck's the other guy's name? Metalik would have been eliminated within 10 seconds after that, but Sullivan kept playing, toying with him and pulling his shoulders off the mat instead of just getting the 3 count. So anyway, after he does that once or twice, he goes outside. Kalisto's then press slammed on the stairs on the outside, which looked actually pretty cool. It was actually a pretty brutal spot. I still didn't really give a flying fuck. Sullivan then goes back inside, continues to toy with Metalik, pretending to pin him and then pulling him up after a few power moves. Dorado is then lawn darted into the ring post, but doesn't really fully connect, and he just lands awkwardly on the floor. Like, he gets thrown into the ring post, but literally falls about a few inches short and then just falls very awkwardly on the floor. It looked kind of painful and sloppy. Sullivan then finishes off Metalik with his flying headbutt off the top, and the match is finally over. And now, while I actually do enjoy watching 3 people get decimated, honestly, I do. It's always fun to watch, but this is something that we've seen for like two months straight. So seriously, I'm over it, and hopefully this is the end of this bullshit. And yeah, and also another side note I got here is what the fuck happened to Lars Sullivan's cool looking entrance that he had in NXT? You know, where he'd come out, it would be all dark with like the red fucking ominous lighting over the fucking crowd, I believe, and then he'd get in the ring and there'd be a spotlight there, and then he'd step in front of the spotlight and he'd cover most of it up, and then the spotlight would just kind of like outline his body like a silhouette, and he'd just look there looking all fucking beast-like, like a freak and a monster. What the fuck happened to that cool looking entrance? He just comes out now like every ordinary fucking big person. Boring as hell. Boring, stale, and lame. But yeah, Vince didn't create it, so we can't do it on the main roster. It's not a thing anymore. Gotta move on. Speaking of moving on, let's fucking move on with this show so we can get the fuck out of here. We then get the usual everyone chasing truth backstage. We get a bunch of catering VIPs, as some people would say. They're all sitting, they all run to an elevator. So like 7 of them hop in elevators, like R-Truth and fucking EC3 and Cedric Alexander, I believe, is in there, and Carmella and Heath Slater and fucking Drake Maverick and somebody else. I really don't fucking remember. They're all sitting in the elevator, and then all of a sudden the elevator breaks and they're all stuck in it. So I'm supposed to believe that these guys are stuck in an elevator. Lame and unfunny as usual. I didn't laugh. I wasn't entertained by any of this, and believe me, it went on multiple times throughout the night. We then get Lacey Evans and Becky Lynch getting ready for their interview, and Becky is seen backstage. She's with Rollins. Cole makes mention of him being Becky's boyfriend, and you know, I don't really know why this is being mentioned. This is not really a thing we need to see right now. Neither one of these people, whether it's Becky or Seth, is being booked correctly on this show. They're both overbooked. They're both being oversaturated, overexposed, and they're both becoming very boring and stale to the point where I just don't care whether it's them or it's just the way they're booked. It's mostly the way they're booked. Because I still like Rollins and I still like Becky, but right now I just don't care about either one of them. I don't care about the feuds that they're in. I don't care about the way they're being booked. And they're not being made to feel like important champions on the show. They're just like fucking props. All these championships feel like just props that they just walk to the ring with and decorate their fucking toys with, or Vince McMahon decorates his toys with these props. Fucking lame, dude. You know, I mean, unless they're going to be looking to book this in some kind of cool angle with Seth and Becky, which I doubt they ever would. I mean, believe me, if they tried, they'd fail miserably. So unless they're looking to do that and they're going to make it entertaining, please, let's not have the whole Becky and Seth thing be a thing on camera. We don't need to see it right now. Anyway, we come back from commercial. They're doing a split screen interview between Becky and Lacey. Becky says that she can't let someone like Lacey be the template for the division. Lacey then says Becky knows nothing about her, and I'm thinking in my head like, yeah, none of us know nothing about you. That's the fucking problem. You just came up on the fucking roster, strutted around, flaunted your fucking ass and your tits around, and you're just getting fucking title matches because you won one fucking match against Natalya, and now you're getting a second title match in what is this, your 4th fucking match on the main roster? And 2 of them now are title matches? For what reason? Because the creative has nothing better to do? What about all the other women on the fucking roster? Do they not get a say? When was the last time we saw an Ember Moon on any of these shows? When was the last time, I can't remember the last time I saw Asuka or Kairi Sane or any of these fucking women. No, we got fucking Lacey Evans and Charlotte getting fucking title matches left and right? Sure thing. Oh, man, dude. I literally, I don't know how anybody else felt about this, but I literally gave 0 fucks about this segment at all. I just did not give a shit. Apparently, we're getting a tag match later between Becky and Bayley versus Bliss and Evans. So, I don't know if Bliss is a heel or a face or what the fuck they're trying to do. It doesn't even matter anymore, honestly. If she was a face last week or doing face-like things, she was a heel on SmackDown, and now she's heel again, and then she'll probably be fucking face on fucking on SmackDown, or God knows what the fuck's going on. Yeah, like I said, it doesn't even really matter anymore. So, oh my God, somebody keeps calling me. Stop calling me, please, right now. Not in a freaking mood. Trying to record a fucking review here. Anyway, where the fuck did I leave off? So Bliss is just basically, she's backstage with Nikki Cross now, and she's saying how Bayley is just basically a bitch. That's basically what she was saying. And that she just puts on a show for everyone, that she's some kind of goody two-shoes, hugger, or whatever the fuck she was saying. Bliss then asks for Cross to be in her corner tonight in the tag match, and of course, Cross accepts because Cross is made to look like a fucking buffoon and falling for all of Alexa Bliss's bullshit, and then they hug. So this is what Cross has come to. Someone who was cool and unique in NXT to having 0 direction on the main roster and just playing fiddle to Alexa Bliss and basically being her bitch on the main roster. There's no thought put into anything on this show. I'm telling you, everything's just thrown together, last minute, random shit, and it comes off on TV, very, very noticeable. Believe me, if you can't notice it, then you're fucking blind. Anyway, so of course we got to get more promos with a Miz TV segment that, again, nobody wants, nobody asked for. I'm so fucking over these talk show segments. Enough is enough. When Roddy Piper was doing Piper's Pit, it wasn't an every week thing. I don't even think it was an every month thing. But here we are, The Miz, every single week, doing a fucking Miz TV segment. Fucking disgusting. And his special guest is Samoa Joe. So, we're like an hour into the show, and there's been zero wrestling outside of the handicap match, which I don't consider wrestling. That was just one man just beating down 3 guys. So, 1 hour, zero wrestling. Great. And all the promos that have happened in the first hour were just literally a waste of fucking time. Anyway, Joe says how he won back the U.S. title, whatever he said, and then we get a recap of what happened last week with him choking out Mysterio. And then we have to listen to The Miz hype up baby faces, and it's fucking god-awful still. It really, I'm telling you, it just doesn't sound right, man. It really doesn't. The Miz playing baby faces, he's being completely miscasted. He then calls Joe's finisher the Cochina Clutch. I don't know what the fuck a Cochina Clutch is, but alright. Miz says involving someone's family is crossing the line, referencing Joe talking shit about Dominic or whatever. Joe then says how about I mention your family? And he says this to The Miz. They get in each other's face, and then for some fucking reason this is interrupted by Braun Strowman. I don't know why, and I still don't know why. He comes out, he says for Joe to shut up and just get these hands. And of course, who do you think comes out next? Yes, of course, it's the Charisma Vacuum himself, Bobby Trashley. This is then pretty much almost instantly interrupted by Ricochet, who barely gets a fucking word out before then Cesaro comes out, who's sporting some new ring gear. Instead of wearing the fucking typical Speedo looking things, he's wearing some like shorts with his fucking new logo and his new colors on it or whatever. He then just punches Ricochet in the face, and then everyone starts brawling. They all make it to the ring, and then eventually the 3 baby faces are standing tall in the ring. So they go to commercial, and what do you think we get when we come back from commercial break? What do you think we get next, huh? Maybe some type of match to determine a number 1 contender for the U.S. title? Maybe the start of some kind of small tournament? Nope. We get another fucking exciting 6-man tag match. So it's Joe, Trashley, and Cesaro, of course, versus The Miz, Ricochet, and Strowman. Now I know what you're thinking. How the fuck do they continue to innovate on this show with these fucking groundbreaking matches? Such exciting shit, man. I really don't know, man. It must be the genius of Vince McMahon at work again. I didn't really pay attention to this match because, again, I just don't care, man. It's every week is a 6-man tag. It's literally every week is a 6-man tag because they have no other way to fill time and build hype for upcoming pay-per-views and title matches and just rivalries in general. They just, this 6-man tag, we'll just take all the fucking bad guys from a feud, or all the bad guys that are involved in a feud, and then place them in a fucking 6-man tag with all the good guys that they're feuding with, and we'll just have that every single fucking week. We'll just mix up the people here and there. Fucking great, exciting shit. Ricochet gets a hot tag during the match, starts flying all over the fucking place. Crowd actually starts getting into it, and actually is starting to get at least a little bit interesting as far as in-ring work goes. And just as it starts to get somewhat interesting, we just get, boom, hit with the fucking commercial. As usual. As soon as you start trying to get excited or start trying to, you know, get yourself invested in the match, boom, you get hit with a fucking 6-minute commercial break. Gotta love it. Come back from commercial, Cesaro hits the swing that went about 20 or 30 seconds, and during this swing you got Renee Young yelling, ooh, ah, ooh, ooh, oh my god, that's so insane. Fucking awful. I can't stand her fucking voice on commentary. I really can't. She's gotta go. Just go fucking join Jon Moxley in AEW and just please do us all a fucking favor and get the fuck off of commentary, because you suck. Worst part of this match was that Joe was about to be power slammed by Strowman. He does escape, but then he just instantly runs out the ring, grabs his belt, and then runs away like a scared fucking child. And I fucking hate that, man. Joe is a beast, and he's the U.S. champion. He should be built up like a credible threat or a credible champion and not be running away from fucking Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman hasn't done anything in recent memory that should fucking warrant anybody being scared of him. Believe me, he's done nothing. Joe's a fucking beast, and he needs to stop fucking running away. And I'm tired of every heel, champion or not, just always running away. Always, 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 always running away. Whatever, man. Ricochet then hits the 630 on Cesaro and gets the win. And when he hits the 630, he lands on Cesaro's like hamstring and fucking quad muscle and a little bit on his knee and his wrist and everything. And it just looked pretty bad. And it looked like Cesaro was legit hurt. I hope that's not the case though. I guess we'll just have to wait and find out, but he definitely looked like he was in some pretty bad pain on the outside, just sitting there, holding his leg, and grins on his face, and it just didn't look good. If you go back and watch it, you'll see what I mean. He just literally lands directly on his leg with all of his fucking weight. Anyway, up next is that women's tag match, champions versus challengers. Man, how original. We go to commercial before the match starts, and we get a little clip of the Rock and Sock Connection moment. And I'm just thinking in my head, like, yeah, man, let's show something that used to be so great and so entertaining so that we can compare it, or we can remember how good it was back then and then compare it to how fucking awful it is today. It literally almost made me change the channel to the point where I was going to forget about doing this review. Honestly, I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, a segment that wasn't even supposed to be good, like something like The Rock, This Is Your Life, and it turned out to be one of the highest rated segments and pretty fucking entertaining. And just made you remember of all the great memories you had growing up watching wrestling when it was good and meant something, to seeing what it became today. And it literally made me just want to turn off the fucking TV and either go back and watch some of those old clips or just do something entirely different. But I fought through it and I continued to watch for some reason. Anyway, we come back, get our tag match, and also another thing, because I didn't do a SmackDown review, why the fuck is Alexa Bliss the #1 contender for a SmackDown Championship when she's on Raw? Someone explain that to me. And I don't want to hear no fucking, the wild card rule. It's unpredictable. No, you're on SmackDown or you're on Raw. You fight for those titles, and that's it. This is why the whole fucking wild card thing is bullshit. You got people just showing up on both shows. It's basically, why is the draft going on if you're allowed to challenge for titles on other shows when you're not on that show? Why do you even have the draft? Seriously. It makes no fucking sense. Anyway, that's illogical. This match was the definition of boring, just like this show is the fucking definition of boring. Sloppy as hell, and then at the end, it was just Lacey Evans basically delivering her shitty finishing right hand like 27 fucking times before finally hitting Bayley with it for a second time, and Bayley getting pinned by Alexa Bliss after she hits Twisted Bliss. And man, do I just love seeing, champions lose on TV almost every single fucking week. It happens all the time, honestly, so really it's nothing unusual, but it's just fucking stupid. It makes your champions look very, not credible. They look like fucking losers, because that's exactly what they're doing, losing too fucking often. And then, just when you thought maybe you were going to get a show without Shane McMahon, here he is with Sami Zayn backstage. Sami Zayn then asked Shane if he could be the second referee for tonight's main event. Shane then basically just says yes, and that's that. Pretty much a tryout for him to be the guest referee in the Universal title match at the next pay-per-view. Blah, blah, blah. And people might say something like, well, they did this kind of shit during the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression Era, which are two great eras that everybody's always fucking, clamoring about how great it was. And yeah, while that's true, back then it actually meant something and it felt important and it actually flowed right. All of this is just fucking boring. It seems forced just to try and create interest. And I don't know who could be interested in any of these feuds. Overly scripted promos and nothing feels of importance. So to try and compare something that they did back in the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression Era, comparing it to now is fucking ridiculous. Back then, the shit was entertaining and it made sense and they made it feel important. And the promos weren't overly scripted and things felt important, which is the most important thing. Nothing feels important tonight. I'm supposed to feel important this is supposed to feel important to me with Sami Zayn being the guest referee between a fucking Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens match. Who gives a shit? Anyway, next we get Heyman. And here's a good example of boring and no interest. I'm not saying that Paul Heyman's boring, because he's not, but at the same time he kind of is recently. Now, like I said, Heyman's great at what he does, but right now I just don't care anymore about anything he says. We've basically heard him say the same shit time and time again, and I just really, who cares? So Heyman says he's not saying whether or not Lesnar is here tonight, and he says that they're no longer going to announce when he's cashing in anymore. So, yeah, because those first few times were just working so well. You announced it, but nothing happened. You baited and switched us, and then you're trying to bait and switch us again by just saying that, I'm not going to say that Brock Lesnar's here, but I'm also going to say that he's not here. And I'm not going to say that he's not going to be there next week, but I'm also going to say that he's... I'm also not going to say that he's not going to be there next week. And then he said the same thing for Stomping Grounds, and just more bait and switch, and just like, oh, you never know when he's going to cash in. Just, there's no reason to say this. Just leave it the way it was. Everybody knows the Money in the Bank can be cashed in anytime. There's no reason to fucking reinforce it into our fucking heads. It's not like Brock Lesnar's going to be there every week anyway. We already know this. So I'm surprised he's been there for the last 2 or 3 weeks. What the fuck did he do in Saudi Arabia? He showed up, got his ass kicked for about fucking 45 seconds, and left, and made $1 million. Who gives a shit? More wasted TV time. I'm fucking falling asleep during this shit. Anyway, we get some more bickering in that elevator bullshit with the 24/7 title, where they're saying more unfunny jokes. I really don't know what they were saying, but they were not funny. If you don't believe me, go back and watch it for yourself. And then if things couldn't get any worse, out come the Moronics. And not only are they coming out, but they're in action. So, isn't it WWE's job to keep us from changing the channel? So why the fuck would you announce that the Iconics are going to be wrestling coming up next? And who the fuck is that going to convince to not change the channel? Now, I don't think anybody in their mind says, oh shit, man, the Iconics are coming on next. Let's hurry up and go grab a snack before it comes back on. Can't miss that. Nobody. That's who's saying that. Fucking hell, man. They come out and they say how they're fighting champions, and I'm just thinking in my head, like, give me a fucking break, man. These titles should be fucking burned inside of a crematory. Awful, worthless belts, man. Fighting champions, yet they haven't won a fucking single match since winning the tag belts, right? Sure thing. They're announced to be taking on some local indie jobbers. And man, this definitely is going to bring some credibility to the tag team champions here. And then for some odd reason, Cole then, I don't know if this was really taking a shot, but it kind of sounded like he was taking a shot at more when I was saying something stupid where he'd be like, oh my god, this is where he would say, Mamma Mia! Or some stupid shit like that. It sounded like a fucking idiot. And if he was taking a shot, I mean, Michael Cole, give me a fucking break. You're not even in Mauro Ranallo's league. Not even fucking close. You're fucking awful on commentary. Why don't you go suck a fat dick with shitty commentary and go gargle on some more of that Roman cock while you're at it. Jesus Christ, dude. Michael Cole. Awful. Anyway, the Iconics win. God forbid they would have lost to some jobbers. That would just be awful. But do you care? Of course not. And speaking of Cole, he keeps mentioning something. He keeps mentioning this kicking ass and taking names bullshit. And is this like the theme for the next shitty pay-per-view coming up? Kicking ass and taking names, Stomping Grounds. Yeah, that's real fucking exciting and original. It's just, man. Kicking ass and taking... Oh, man, he said the word ass. Pathetic. Anyway, next up we get another Shane celebration train wreck. Didn't we just get a Shane appreciation night like last week on SmackDown or the week before that? Enough is enough with this fucking guy, man. Seriously. Shane starts saying how great Roman is and how he's a future Hall of Famer, and I'm over here in the fucking corner of my room just fucking puking in a garbage can. Says how he's beaten Taker and Lesnar at WrestleMania, but he never beat Shane. The crowd then starts chanting fucking boring, and this is an understatement. And then he just kept going on and on. They started drinking champagne out of the trophy and drinking champagne and out of glasses, and this segment went about 8 to 10 minutes long, and that's about 8 to 10 minutes too fucking long. The Revival then comes out and says they want to party with him, but then they're not allowed to party with him until they win the tag belt. So up next is our triple threat tag match. During the commercial here, we are told of our weekly 6-man tag match on SmackDown. I don't remember who the fuck's in it because I really don't care, but just know that tomorrow night on SmackDown you're getting again another 6-man tag match. Just remember that 6-man tag match every week, every show for the rest of your life. Get used to it, people. It's never going to fucking end. Anyway, we get our triple threat match, or triple threat tag match next for the tag titles. And you know, again, people think I'm lying or like I'm just trying to be negative because it's cool, or I'm shitting on the product because I'm trying to be cool or get likes or get views or whatever. And it's not because of that. It's because every single week it's the same shitty show every single goddamn week. And give me a break. Seriously, how does nobody see this? That whoever doesn't see this, I don't know how you don't see it. And I don't understand how anybody buys a ticket to these fucking weekly shows? Are you just this unintelligent? I wouldn't pay for a Raw or a SmackDown Live right now if you gave me the money to buy it. I'd take the money and pay off some of my credit card bill, or I'd go fucking buy myself a fucking dinner. Fuck going to a Raw or a SmackDown. Seriously. I'm not gonna lie here, man. The tag titles mean nothing, and I couldn't wait for the show to be over. So I fast forwarded through most of this match just to see who was gonna win. Because again, I just want the shit to be over. The Revival shockingly win the belts after Uso hits a fucking plethora of super kicks and then hits a splash. But as he's hitting the splash, Dawson makes a blind tag and basically stole the pin as Wilder was holding back one of the Usos from breaking up the pin. And I mean, at least the belts are in the hands of a credible and legit tag team. Well, I don't know about credible right now, but at least a legit tag team. But at the moment, the titles still don't mean shit. So, does it really matter? I mean, I hope so. Does this mean we're gonna get decent tag team stories or tag team matches? I doubt it, but one can only hope, right? After this, we then see the likes of guys like Bobby Roode and others. I don't remember who else was there. Bobby Roode was just the one that poked out the most, and it didn't look like he had his little fucking porn stash anymore, so there goes that. And apparently these guys were... Because when the R-Truth and the rest of them got in the elevator and broke down, we seen these idiots sitting outside the elevator. Apparently this is like 2.5 hours later, and these fucking same idiots are still outside of the elevator banging on the door, waiting to get a chance to win a worthless title. So Bobby Roode went from being a fucking prick-like heel in NXT, where he was just shitting on people like Roderick Strong's wife and saying she needs to come see a real man, to begging and waiting by an elevator to win the 24/7 title. Unbelievable, people. Unbelievable. Next up, we get the Firefly Funhouse. He's putting up a sign on the door that says whoever exits pretty much loses all hope. So the rabbit and the fucking bird thing, or the fucking whatever, or the buzzard start arguing, and Bray Wyatt just starts getting fucking fed up with it, and then he says, which one, which hand is gonna win, or whatever the fuck he said, where he has on one glove it says hurt, the other one it says heel, puts it over the fucking rabbit's ears, and then apparently the heel won, I guess, the one that says heel, and then he says for the rabbit to take the floor. He then takes his hand that has the glove that says hurt written on it, and he grabs the rabbit by the fucking face, pretty much choking him, throws him to the floor, and then he proceeds to smash him over and over again with this oversized hammer until some blood-looking liquid comes out. He then takes the liquid on his hand, tastes it, and then says it's delicious, and then he turns it into some breakfast spread, which is I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. He literally just mashes the rabbit until some liquid comes out of it, and then he says it's a breakfast spread that he says is, what the fuck did he say? Says this show is brought to you by, and then he shows the fucking jar of the rabbit's breakfast spread that's made out of his guts, pretty much. I'm honestly getting very bored with these. I know some people really like them, and it is still one of the things I look forward to the most on the show, to maybe they'll do something good or just what Bray Wyatt's gonna do, but I'm honestly getting kind of bored with this shit. It's not the same shit, but it's just like, alright, we've seen this now for like 8 straight weeks. Can we just get him like actually on the show, like either wrestling or showing up in the arena, and not doing this stupid shit anymore with the Funhouse? I mean, maybe it's going somewhere, and maybe I'll eat my words. I hope I do, because it's something that I have high hopes for, but I'm honestly getting bored with it, and I think it's time for something different. And at this point, I really don't know if this guy's ever going to make his re-debut with the new gimmick, in ring or in the arena. I'm starting to get to the point that it's just going to be this forever. And up next, finally, guys, before we get the fuck out of here, we got our main event. And if you thought that I was going to take a bunch of notes and watch this match, then you're sadly mistaken. I did not. Again, I don't care about any of this, so I fast forward through most of it. They haven't made me feel interested, so why should I care about what's going on here? Owens wins by DQ when Sami Zayn calls for the bell because Rollins accidentally, or he barely even touched him. He did like a suicide dive on Owens, and Zayn did his best LeBron James impersonation, just fucking flopped on the floor, and then pretty much stops the referee from counting the 3 after Owens gets stomped. and then pretty much disqualifies Rollins. And then Rollins starts beating him up after the match. Corbin comes out, starts beating up Rollins, and Rollins gets the upper hand, and then grabs a chair, and Sami Zayn's stuck in the ring, and he just beats Sami Zayn over the back with a chair like 7 or 8 times. And that's pretty much the way the show ended. And he hits the stomp on Sami Zayn, and the show ends. Folks, I don't know if there's any hope for this show to get any better. I really fucking don't. Show is boring, and this show needs a complete overhaul. Like, new stage, new graphics, new fucking ring design, or not ring design like making it like TNA or anything like that. Just like, maybe some new colors on the ropes, some new fucking ring skirts, put the commentary table back at ringside, change this god-awful arena that I can't stand anymore. Just make it look like gritty again. Like, make it feel like the Attitude. Like, I don't want to see the Attitude Era as just the bed, but like the way it felt, like it just felt gritty, and like it made it feel like, I don't know, real, I guess, or it just made it feel like it was something that was can't miss. It just felt important. It just looked cool. Nowadays, it's just overly dumb with LED lights fucking all over the place. You don't need LED lights all over the place. I'm not saying they don't have a place, but like, darken it down a little bit, make it look, like I said, give it that gritty look. But they're not going to do this shit, so again, there's no hope for this fucking show, man. Until they overhaul the whole show, get a new commentary team. You can keep Corey Graves, that's fine. Just stop scripting him so much and say this god-awful shit. And, I don't know, and maybe bring back some blood in some of the matches when there's some crazy feuds. Maybe bring back some foul language here and there, some more edgier fucking content, make it TV 14 again, a bunch of things. I mean, that's not going to be the be-all, end-all to save the show, but these little changes here and there have got to be done, because this is fucking awful, dude. Anyway, man, like I said, I don't know if there's any saving the show, and there's nothing else for me to say here, so I'm going to end it here. And until I make my next video, talk to you guys later. Have a good night. Be safe. Peace out. If it's the same one that I'm going to, you guys can give me the double butt rubs. Yep, it is. Double butt rubs. Double butt rubs, though. Get them points. I feel bad. We should go back and get them, no?
Wait, he literally laughed.
Yep.
Well, then, what are you gonna leave her? Seriously?
Apparently.